Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from KnowFear, and he is in the Missouri, a tier 9 US premium battleship. He is on a laborious path in a 3-point domination game. So it's a tier 9 battle, which is quite lovely. There is no carrier, there are 4 destroyers. Now the Missouri does have raiders, so he is pushing up here towards the A cap in order to get some use of that. His raider is basically covering the whole cap now. And there's the radar.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
So Minsk has been spotted, shells out. He had high explosive load, it looks like.
Enemy warship.
Or they mentioned that. Anyway, it's armor piercing. No, it's I mean, it shows as armor piercing. I don't know. For me, the shells look like high explosive. It doesn't really matter. So basically, he is shooting the Minsk. And he's got some good damage in there, but I was hoping that there would be more friendly shells coming this way. Well, oh yeah, he said to fly, so this is high explosive. The game shows you that armor piercing though. Okay.
The ship is on fire.
You know what? I mean, it's a replay. Never expect the replay to not be buggy. Anyway. So the destroyer has been dealt with. He is going behind this island, and you know he's oh no, wait, he's detected by planes. But he's hopefully able to cap planes. The fun police, even without the carrier. But now he's detected the old-fashioned way anyway. So maybe he isn't going to get this cap as easily as it looks. But there are friendly destroyers coming his way, and still high explosive. I wonder if he's I mean, by now he's hopefully switched to armor piercing, because you really want to shoot the broadside guys now with armor piercing. There's also a Kansas coming this way, who may or may not be broadside. Now he's going to get interrupted here, but it's fine. The destroyers have arrived. They will take this camp. This is Surrey. If he would reverse a little bit more, maybe he could try to shoot it, but wouldn't have the best angle there anyway. He could also charge forward, but I mean, you don't want to be in a crossfire, and he just wants to be in this cap, and yet there is the armor piercing. It looks like the...
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Looks like the indicator is now okay again. Anyway.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Meanwhile, the friendlies may or may not take the C camp. They do have about an equal force as the enemy there, I think. The center has fallen to the enemy. But it looks quite decent around here at the A area. So, yeah, he's given too much lead there. He was under the impression that the Kansas could actually move forward, but it's a Kansas. Now, the return fire from the Kansas actually hurt quite a bit. Good thing that the Kansas won't be able to do this again in like 40 seconds.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Meanwhile, he's actually spotted broadside Friedrich, so the enemy team, they weren't content with taking the center. They decided to push even further. Now if you see like a broadside ship like that, might as well take the opportunity. If the enemy wants to push into a crossfire, then you know. Decent salvo there. This Friedrich is, I mean, considering that he's pushing so far into the friendlies, he's surviving for quite some time. He might be... Oh, the Bismarck was torpedoed. I was just thinking the Friedrich maybe is trying to ram the Bismarck, but it looks like the Yugumo came around and stopped the friendly Bismarck. This is quite a wild game, I guess. And the Friedrich still afloat. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe all of the ships here on the sides are busy shooting somebody else. So, the pretty decent start they had is not looking so decent anymore. Like, this Friedrich has been allowed to push through this entire map here, showing broadside, and now he's being angled finally. And he's still floating. Then again, maybe he's getting towed by the Kagero. The enemy team now controls 2 caps and it's equal on ships. I mean, it's still anyone's game, mind you. And maybe they can finally take this Friedrich out.
Problem solved, sir.
So that the friendlies have their backline clear again. Well, I mean, there is still the Yugumo, I guess. But maybe the Kagero can find the Yugumo, although there aren't that many ships close to the Yugumo to provide fire support.
Enemy battleship foundered.
Also, while the friendlies control the A-cap, they have a lot of ships here, and the friendlies now need to make a decision. Do they want to push the Gneisenau and the Kansas, or do they want to just go B? It's one of those awkward situations as always. If you just sail to B, you might end up in a crossfire, but if you push the enemy towards the zone wall, you might end up losing a lot of time that might be needed elsewhere. Now, of course, the friendly ships in the south don't have to make the decisions like that, because they've never really joined the battle, so they still have the world open to them. They should really be going towards B. I mean, oh, the enemy is actually pushing in, that's perfect. Like, if the enemy was just staying there in the north and waiting for reinforcements to go for B, then this would be in a very tough spot. If the enemy actually wants to push in here, then the friendlies can just overwhelm them with numbers. And let's hope that the friendlies down here are actually trying to speed. It looks like they do right now. They can help the Kagero take care of the Yugumo, and oh, they might even be able to shoot the Buffalo. Now, the enemy team had, I don't know, like 2 minutes ago it was looking pretty good for them, but now this Buffalo has overcommitted because he is basically broadside to a lot of ships and he has no support, and those enemies in the north decided to push. I mean, this is a Kansas against 2 destroyers and he's coming towards those destroyers. Those destroyers are probably salviating right now. With all of the torpedoes, they were most likely going to hit there. I mean, look at how close those guys are. And there are lots of torpedoes in the water, like... And the Kansas is so fat, it's really hard to miss.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
Okay, so Buffalo has been taken care of. It's kind of what you'd expect. He was full broadside there. Like I said, the Buffalo has pushed too far, and if he wanted to push this far in, he would have needed to stay on the other side of... Well, on the other side of the island, he would have run into other issues. Basically, he would have needed the ships at the other side there. Anyway, for some reason the Kansas is still afloat, despite the friendly destroyers getting so close. They didn't really manage to get good torpedoes in. And it looks like the friendly destroyers lost quite a bit of health there too. Well, that's not ideal, but the enemy team has crumbled a lot so far, so I guess it doesn't matter in the long run. And, you know, he could totally radar here, just to spot the Kansas behind the smoke screen. But I guess it wasn't really needed. I mean, it's not like he'll need the radar anytime soon, I think. Well, I guess we don't know where the enemy destroyers are. So maybe it makes sense to keep the radar on, well, ready. And oh, he's showing quite a bit of broadside. The Kansas guns do hurt. They only fire once a blue moon, but if they fire, they do hurt. Oh, is the Kansas going broadside here? Down goes the Kansas. I mean, the Kansas had quite a long time where he could have shot the Missouri, but with the abysmal reload, he just, you know, wasn't able to actually get shots off, while the Missouri just casually sailed past and obliterated the Kansas. Now next up we have that Gneisenau. And... well, Gneisenau broadside isn't going to be as spectacular because you can't really citadel the Germans, but you can get those juicy penetrations. Like that. And the enemy team still got stuck inside the sea cap. That's something that really was the enemy's problem, right? While they decisively took the sea cap like 5 minutes ago, they just sat there and we're like, you know what, we don't need to push, we don't need to go be defend, we just, you know, we've taken our cap, now we basically just have a break. And you know what? That Gneisenau is going to be a possible Kraken unleash there for our Missouri.
Negative.
All he needs to do is reload his guns there, get one more salvo off, and there should be a Kraken. Of course, me saying that means those guns will horribly miss, I guess. Or maybe they won't. Kraken Unleashed.
Battleship sunk.
Okay, so that leaves the enemy with 4 ships,
I
and
owe you one.
well, now Missouri here is a bit out of position to take care of them. Let's speed
Concentrate
this
fire on
up
the
a
enemy
little bit.
warship.
I've also unlocked the camera to not give ourselves vertigo while this is running at high speed. Oh, we actually got shots on something.
Good game, everyone.
Well.
Our victory is in sight.
Yeah. So, enemy still remaining. I mean, so far, like, he only was able to get a lot of his radar once. Like, I mean, he basically...
Concentrate fire on the target.
I think we can give him camera control back and slow this down again. So basically, early on, he got a lot of use out of his radar, taking care of the destroyer and dominating the ACAP. Ever since then, I guess he hasn't run into any radar situations. But, you know, Missouri is still a decent boat, even if you don't radar too much. Now, it looks like he had high explosive loader. He's reloading armor piercing. There, the Bismarck is going broadside. Let's hope for some more juicy penetrations. It's just a Bismarck and 1 destroyer remaining. And there we go. Now his Confederate triggered. The fireworks go off. But it's a bit late for this time. I have a feeling that, you know, this won't make a difference here. So that's probably his last salvo he's going to get off. The enemy team is almost down. The friend is at 940 points. And the Bismarck is going to go behind an island, so he can't shoot at Bismarck anymore. I presume the friendlies are just going to sink this, and it's going to end. And that means, let's speed it up slightly.
Good game, everyone.
Wait, the Bismarck went into concealment. Well, only short. He's even firing his radar here, because why not? And that brings us to the results. Now KnowFear has 2,123 base experience. Nicely done. Nicely done. He achieved a devastating strike, a Confederate, a Kraken, a First Blood, and a High Caliber, scoring 162,000 points of damage and sinking 5 enemies. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.